Would you like to hear what I think God would say to the churches in America? He'd say, you boast that you serve me, but in truth you serve your own ego.
Tradition of the black church is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. How that is packaged, how that is promoted, becomes the challenge.
Churches have bills to pay. And the only way to take care of this is to make certain that members of that congregation are giving properly.
To become a megachurch pastor, you have to keep the majority of the money that you collect, and you have to convince them that they are to give 10% or more, and they should be happy about it.
I don't think that megachurches get back their 10% for sure. It is absolutely no question. If that was the case, Atlanta would not have a poverty issue.
I would like to see the church go back to the point where it can collect tithes and offering and keep 10% and give away 90%.
And it's not just the money they make, it's the way they're treated in the church. Often you will have some of these megachurch pastors, you can't even, if you're a member of the church, you can't even see them.
He ain't even gonna answer your phone call. Because another thing about these guys is, you can't even talk to them.
The gospel according to prosperity says that once you confess Christ as your Savior, you will become in His favor. And whatever you touch will turn to gold. And that's a complete lie of the gospel. Matter of fact, the gospel says that after you accept Christ, you shall suffer for His sake.
These ministers are prosperous because of this congregation, knowing all along that there are barriers that are going to prevent members of that congregation from achieving the same thing.
If the feds take a closer look at tithes, they will begin to see that the majority of that money is in His control.
Church has a special designation if they're named a church. And that means you don't have to ever report anything to anybody.
It's beyond scrutiny because churches aren't required to file tax returns. So they're doing so much that's in the dark.
Today, evangelism is billboards and advertisements telling you how life is really going to be sweet and everything's going to be nice if you give yourself to God or accept Jesus as your personal Savior and walk the aisle. Number one, walking the aisle is not in the Scriptures. Number two, accepting Jesus as your personal Savior in the Scriptures. None of that is.
A minister who does not say anything about anybody or any cause and just simply preach a gospel that he is not willing to put into action is a minister not worth having.
After you spend your time and your years screaming and shouting in church, praying and praying and praying, and you are not moving into another direction, there's something wrong with you or something wrong with the ministry that you are a part of.